Hi, and welcome to the Boat Princess podcast. My name is Nicky Vaux, and I'm your host. I am a boat owner, a marina owner, a director on the Marina Industries Association, and a huge advocate for boating. In this series, I'm sharing the stories from every nook of the boating industry with the intention of encouraging more women to join me and for more women to get behind the helm too. I want to share the experience and opportunities of boating, of the boating industry, and I want you to join me as I bring the conversations and answer all the questions you've had. Boating is not just for the glamorous and rich and famous. It's full of beautiful and interesting people making the most of our natural environment and getting out there, enjoying the waterways. So let's let off the lines, take over the helm, and escape to the world of boating. Good morning. This is the Boat Princess coming to you live from Sanctuary Cove Boat Show. It is Sunday, 23rd of May, final day of Boat Show. We're having a great morning. All the crowds aren't here yet, so we're catching up with my really cool women in the industry. So this one I'm particularly proud of because she's so young. Her name is Nona Pedersen, and she is General Manager for Prop Speed. Now, Prop Speed is a product I use on my boat. So I would like her to explain what Prop Speed is. Actually, let's go back a bit further. Let's find out how Prop Speed started, Nona.
So Prop Speed was born out of a passion for boating. So the owner of Prop Speed, he was hauling his boat every 2 weeks to spray down the bottom and spray off the running gear because the fouling was so bad in the Bay of Islands in New Zealand and the efficiency on his boat was going down. So he was getting really frustrated with having to haul his boat out every 2 weeks. And at the time, he owned a paint company. And so he teamed up with a local boat painter and developed what we now know as Prop Speed. Prop Speed is a foul release coating. It's a two-part system. It's a metal etching primer and then a silicone top coat. It is quite different to traditional anti-foul in the sense that it doesn't release biocides or any toxins into the marine environment. In that sense, it's environmentally friendly. Prop Speed works because it's super slippery, and it means that any marine fouling that forms can't actually adhere to the running gear and the metal surfaces that it's painted onto. So it was developed about 25 years ago in the Bay of Islands in New Zealand, and it grew organically through word of mouth. The product itself is a beautiful gold colour, so when people started seeing this really cool gold propellers coming out of the water, they got excited and wanted to know a little bit more about it. And so it grew through word of mouth. Throughout New Zealand, the product didn't actually have a name for a few years. It was one of our applicators in Auckland that came up with the name Prop Speed because what it does is it improves your efficiency and speed on the boats. Australia was actually the first market for Prop Speed to go international, and it's been in the market now for over 21 years, and it's still the leader in the market and one of the best products at preventing fouling on your running gear.
Okay, so there's a few things I want to delve into and unpack that you've actually said there, Nona. One is fouling. What is fouling for the listeners that don't understand what that term means?
So fouling is any kind of marine growth that can form on the surface on the underside of the boat. So that's anything from slime, soft marine growth, to hard shell marine growth like barnacles, mussels, things like that. They really like to stick on the bottom sides of boats. And so you don't really want that because that can then make the boat run less efficiently, increasing your fuel burn and consumption. And overall, it's not really great for the engine of the boat because it puts more strain on it. So most people use anti-foul on the hull, and they've learnt that a lot of that sort of paint doesn't actually stick to the propellers. It's quite a tough surface to get something to stick to. So it's been tricky to develop a product that can actually stick to a very, very fast spinning surface, but we've managed to do that quite well with Prop Speed. And with our coatings, you can apply it to any of the underwater metal assets. So that's basically everything that isn't the hull. So your props, your shafts, your struts, I think you guys call them skigs over here. So I've learned. And anything that's metal, even your trim tabs, you can protect with Prop Speed.
And it makes them look so pretty.
It does.
That signature gold is a little bit like the Christian Louboutin signature red on the soles, isn't it? It really marketed itself, didn't it?
It did, and that's how we've gotten a lot of our international growth is boats have it applied in one market, and then the boats travel. They go overseas, they go offshore, they go down the coast, and when they're hauled out, people see these beautiful gold props coming out exactly the way they went back in. And so it gets people interested and intrigued, and why doesn't my running gear look like that? So it's a very cool product. It is pretty, and it makes my job very easy because it sells itself.
Absolutely. And there is something you said in that previous little monologue there in terms of the actual anti-fouling and lifting the boat for getting prop speed done on it. In terms of, again, people tend to think sometimes they're saving money by leaving their boat in the water for a longer period of time and not getting their anti-foul done annually. But in actual fact, the fuel consumption and the damage that can be done to your engines, as you say, with that extra work they're doing because those props are coated in barnacles, weed, so on and so forth. I think people really need to understand that is a very actually important aspect of saving money on looking after your boat. So if I can re-emphasize that to everyone out there with a boat, it really is worth doing that annual anti-foul. Now, let's get into you, Nona, yourself. Let's go back a little bit into your school and your education life. How was that?
So I finished university. I actually wanted to be a civil engineer. Started going down that path and realized I really didn't like it. So I went and studied business. So I did my bachelor's degree in business, majored in marketing and management. And prior to joining PropSpeed, I knew nothing about boats. Absolutely nothing. I'm a country girl. I ride horses. Very far from the ocean. And so when I first started working at PropSpeed, I joined as an intern for 3 months and I knew nothing about boats. And so when I started learning about anti-foul, I thought it was something that prevented chickens.
I love that.
So it was a big learning curve for me. But if anything, it just motivated me even more to learn as much as I could about the product. And so when I finished my internship, I actually got offered a full-time role as a marketing assistant. At the time, I was employee number 5 for the company, so we were very, very small. I think I did everything but marketing, as you do in small businesses. You have to wear a lot of hats. So I've been very fortunate working for PropSpeed now for 7 years that I got to grow with the business. And it's been such a great learning curve. I spent the first year and a half learning everything I could, not only about our products, but about our boats and our customers, because I think that's the most important thing about this industry is you need to know your stuff. If you don't, people will call you out on it and it's not genuine. And so that's been one of my biggest things is I wanted to learn as much as I could, not only about our products, but also about what they do and understanding all the different benefits that boat owners can have from using our products. And it's not just protection against fouling. It's about teaming up with other industry partners to learn about how our products work to prevent corrosion. And that's where our great partnership with Logix and MPS has come in. And that's really why I love doing what I do, because you get to work with really cool people in this industry. They're genuinely passionate about their products, about their boats, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm a real advocate for working. If you get an internship opportunity, work really hard in that internship and really show that company what you're capable of, because it invariably turns into a very decent role within that company if you really show what you're capable of. So I'm proud of you for doing that, Nona. And let's explore a little bit in what sort of qualities you think you showed in that time that they then thought, yeah, we need to hold on to her.
So I think the big one is just being hardworking and dedicated and going the extra mile and going above and beyond. I think that's one of the things that helped make me stand out, and which is what gave my bosses confidence in me. Also just being genuine and not, burning bridges, always trying to find a positive solution, a win-win for everyone around. That's important. And I always go back to just making sure you know your stuff. You can get called out on it pretty quickly in this industry if you don't know what you're talking about. And so what my bosses and my team love is the fact that I know everything there is to know about our products, about our business, about the industry, about our customers. And having that passion for it too, I think goes a long way. It's not just a clock in at 8 a.m. and leave at 4:30 p.m. type of job. It's something you do live and breathe, but it's because it's so fun. Because you get to do some really, really cool things, like come to the Sanctuary Cove Boat Show. It's a beautiful place here. And you get to talk to and meet with different people and just, share an understanding of what you're trying to achieve here. And, it's all about enjoying boating and as a sport, a lifestyle, a recreational hobby, all of the above.
So that's great. You've really got passionate about boating since you've been working for PropSpeed, because it wasn't there before. You were a country girl before. It wasn't like you've grown up with boats and, your mum and dad took you boating or all that sort of thing. This is really right from the start of working in this space, right?
Yep, absolutely. And I think a lot of people, you get the whole, there's nothing that interesting about a propeller coating, a propeller paint. But it's so much more than that. And it is such a cool industry to work in. There's so much opportunity. There's so many different niche areas that you can get into. And the best thing about it is the people that you meet, they genuinely love it too. So it's not just a job where you're trying to sell some product. It's so much more than that. You're part of this bigger thing. And, the customers, the boat owners, they love their product, their boats. They're passionate about it. And so I think it's when you have all this shared passion about it, it's infectious. You just want to learn more and more.
So, Nona, can you give me some insight into the day of the life of Nona working at PropSpeed?
Okay, so we are part of an international business. I'm based in New Zealand, so we have a team based in Europe as well as in the USA. So my day starts pretty early. Get up at 4:30 a.m., take care of my animals and get into the office by 6. And usually the first few hours are dealing with all of our international customers in our team, making sure they've got everything they need before their end of day finishes up, and then it's back to work for the Southern Hemisphere. And so my role is really about making sure that the operational side of the business is going along smoothly. I work closely with our managing director to support him in all of our strategic initiatives and directions, but also have a strong emphasis on ensuring that our international team of 32 people is connected. We're all aligned. We know what we're trying to achieve, and making sure that, especially through a pandemic, that we can supply our product where we need to, and to make sure that it can keep up with the demand, because as we've seen, boating is just going up and up.
So let's just talk about that for a moment, the impact of COVID-19 on your international boating business. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so believe it or not, boating around the world has actually increased, and it's been great for our business. But the biggest challenge that we've had has actually been with the supply chain and also the logistics. So we manufacture our product down in New Zealand, and it's been quite challenging being able to get our product offshore, especially with all the delays that we're having with ships trying to come in and leave the country. So for us, we're quite fortunate. We have warehouses set up in our biggest markets, and we've got a great distribution network. So our customers haven't seen any issues, but it has required a lot of planning, a lot of forecasting and reforecasting again, just to make sure that we have all of the raw materials we need to manufacture, and that we can make sure that our products get on the boat in time, so that we can supply our customers easily without having to rely on things like air freight. So thankfully, we've been fortunate that we haven't had any major issues. And we're just trying to look ahead to make sure that we can still keep supplying, because we know that, a lot of other industries and businesses are putting a lot of pressure on supply chain with the need for, alloy and tin and all the other requirements to manufacture things. But yeah, we've been quite fortunate that we've stayed ahead of it, and hopefully it just keeps going up and up with the boating demand, with boating being COVID friendly.
Nona, it has been fantastic talking to you this morning. I love your passion. I love your drive. I love your sheer intelligence that's coming across on the microphone so easily. I know we really put you on the spot this morning, just handing you a microphone and saying, come on to our podcast. And here she is. She's done an amazing job. It's been awesome talking to you. Thank you very, very much for your time. I look forward to following your career and seeing how you go through the boating industry. I think you are going to be an absolute winner.
Thank you so much, Nikki, and thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, and let's just mention for PropSpeed, how do people find out about your product? Where's the best place to find you?
The best place is to go to www.propspeed.com. You'll find everything you need on there, and go follow our social media accounts. We're always posting some interesting and cool stories, and that's just at PropSpeed.
Well, prop speed certainly keeps my boat going faster, and I like going fast. So we'll sign out there. See you on the water soon, the Boat Princess. So it was great to catch up with Nona Pedersen at Sanctuary Cove Boat Show. I just wanted to go through a few things she mentioned in that podcast. She talked about having a partnership with Marine Protection Systems. Now, that is a business owned by Jess and Brian Gatt, and I actually interview Jess in episode 4 of my podcast. So if you'd like to know more about their business, please listen to episode 4. Both of these episodes, so that with Jess Gatt and that with Nona Pedersen, will be featured in Nautilus magazine shortly. And Nautilus magazine is a magazine you receive with their compliments when you have insurance with Nautilus. So if you don't have your boat insured with Nautilus, find a friend who does, or maybe look at Nautilus as an alternative insurer for you. It's great to have them feature in their magazine because not everybody is a podcast listener. So if you have friends that don't listen to podcasts, but you'd like to hear what we've been talking about on these podcasts, you can tell them about that feature in Nautilus magazine. Another thing I'd like to unpack that we talked about is the importance of anti-fouling. Now, anti-fouling is a very, very important part of maintaining your boat. And the fact that we simply lift your boat out of the water annually is an incredible advantage to probably saving you a great deal of money in the future. You see, we inspect the hull when we do that. We inspect your anodes when we do that. And that means we can catch things early and get them fixed soon, rather than if you leave your boat in the water for an extended period of time without any inspection of any sort. Things like erosion of parts due to electrical issues, which is exactly what Jess Gatt's company does. And especially with timber boats, woodworm can set in and create dreadful damage, whereas if we catch it early, we can deal with it, and the costs will be much, much lower. So that thought that you're saving money by keeping your boat in the water and not having it anti-fouled is actually a true false economy. As we know, COVID-19 has affected different businesses in different ways, and the boating industry has in fact become stronger because of it. Because people haven't been able to travel, they have suddenly realized that boating is an incredible alternative to travel, because they feel like they've really gone away, but they're actually in the same country that they live in. And so right from boats being purchased, to boats being chartered, to boats being shared, to boats being rented, we've seen a wonderful growth in strength, which in turn has supported an incredible amount of people in the industry that are small businesses, that are family businesses, and it's great to see them getting great support during this time. So in fact, because of that, the boating industry is actually in need of employees right now, especially in the anti-fouling, hardstand and shipwright space we've been talking about today. So if you have been adversely affected by COVID-19, perhaps you've lost your job, or maybe you're thinking about changing your career because you've had some time to reflect and recognize that you want something different in your life as your career, then perhaps consider going into the boating industry in this space now. You can check out marinejobs.org.au and see what positions they have on that website. That is a Boating Industry Association and Marine Industries Association initiative, and that literally just has marine positions on it. So I highly recommend you going to that site. And also, if you are a boating industry employer that has some positions available right now, then that's a great space to post your position as well. So just to restate that, that's marinejobs.org.au. As you know, part of the purpose of this podcast and my persona as the Boat Princess is to really illustrate to our listeners and our followers on Instagram the diversity of positions that are available in this incredible industry, and just to put it on your radar as something that is available to women and to men that are perhaps doing something they're really not enjoying right now and they'd like to get into something different. So I hope my podcast and my Instagram gives you inspiration to do that. If you are interested in being featured on my podcast and having a chat with me, I would love to hear from you. You can contact me through my website, theboatprincess.com. I would love to hear from companies that would like to share what they do and why they do it for the boating industry, and also from women in the industry and in the boating lifestyle that would like to share their stories with us. It's been great talking to some amazing women in this podcast so far. And in the future, I'll be talking to Tracy Souris from Sydney Boathouse, Kaylee Porter, who's worked in the super yacht industry, Michelle Nichols, who's worked in this industry for more than 20 years, and many more. We have exciting plans for when the world opens up again, and indeed when Australia opens up again, to do some lovely events with you and get you out on some boats, do some lovely lunches with our partners that are working with us on those. And those partners include amazing people like Pommery Champagne, Ross and Whitcroft, who you'll have seen my beautiful caps that I wear in my posts. They are just gorgeous, and you can actually buy those caps. Those caps, I'm trying to start a bit of a movement of women that enjoy their boating, women that are in the boating industry, and especially women that love being at the helm of their boat, or indeed just their lives and their businesses. And they are available through Ross and Whitcroft. Just search for the Boat Princess on that site, and you'll find my beautiful orange and blue caps that you can order and enjoy. I'd love to be out walking one day and see one of those caps and say, oh, that's somebody I can go and have a good chat with boating about, or just being a strong woman I can have a good conversation with. So to make sure you don't miss out on those exciting events that we'll be having in the future, please follow me on Instagram at The Boat Princess, and also go to my website, theboatprincess.com, and sign up for my newsletter. I do some really useful tips for maintaining your boat, some interesting information about companies out there in the industry, and also some fun stuff. So it's really worth signing up for my newsletter so you can hear all that information and not miss out on those events. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that episode with us today. It's been lovely having you here as always, and I do hope that you'll give us a review on wherever you listen to your podcasts. I really enjoy the feedback that I receive from all of you, and it's been lovely to know that I've been inspiring you and you've enjoyed listening to all the amazing people that I get to talk to on this podcast. If you'd like to contact me, simply go to my website, theboatprincess.com. If you'd like to see more of what I'm up to, please follow me on Instagram at theboatprincess. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here, and I look forward to talking to you, and I'll see you on the water soon.